Around 40 children were left on a cold, dark, unstaffed railway station last night because there wasn't room on their train. The youngsters, who go to school in Torre, had to wait for the next train to arrive at Torre station to take them home. The rail company says the train was reduced to 2 carriages because of recent flooding. Well, our reporter John Ayres is at the station for us tonight. John.
Yes, this is Torre station. It's normally pretty quiet through most of the day, but during the school run, it's a very different story. It serves Torquay boys and Torquay girls grammar schools. Both have an excellent reputation, and some children travel some distance to attend the school. The question is, though, just how well does the rail service cope? This is last night's 16:21 train from Torre to Exmouth. These children are from Torquay's 2 grammar schools. They take this train home each night. Many of them are season ticket holders. Some of the older students are paying more than £200 a term.
It's been like this quite frequently now, and it means that I don't get home for another hour, have to stand in the cold. It's dark obviously now. It's not particularly safe for the younger kids, you know.
They only put 2 carriages on for hundreds of school children, and it's freezing cold. It also means I have to miss a piano lesson that's prepaid for, so I'm not going to get money back on that as well.
I really think they need more carriages for the students, or else it's just impossible to have a running, working service.
The wait for the next train is 40 minutes. When the 4:21 arrived, it was still daylight, but as you can see, it's dark now and it's cold, and it's often the case that it's the smaller children that get left behind. Roger Stoyle has 2 daughters who take this train. He first started writing to First Great Western about the overcrowding 4 years ago. One of his daughters couldn't get on the train on Tuesday. The other was one of the 40 who couldn't board last night.
There was such a crush on Tuesday. My daughter came home in absolute tears because apparently there was almost a panic because there were so many people trying to get on the train.
The grammar schools are unhappy about the situation, particularly the safety of students. First Great Western have discussed the idea of student prefects helping to watch the crowd.
Ultimately, 17, 18-year-olds can't be responsible for something so serious as a child going onto the track, and it should, I think, maybe a member of staff should be there.
We think it must be their responsibility to do something about it, and we ask really for 2 things. The first is that if there are 4 carriages rather than 2, there is no problem. If there's going to be 2 carriages, we ask for that station to be manned. It's only once a day at 4:10, they're paying customers, there's a health and safety issue. There's also respect for the fact that they're paying customers. I don't think it would happen on a train Exeter to Paddington with grown-ups as such on it. First Great Western admits the scenes last night weren't acceptable and says it's a priority for the service to have 4 carriages.
The problem we've had in the last week or 2 is directly related to the flooding. We've had trains trapped in all sorts of places across the network, weren't able to get them back to maintenance, and we've been short. But we've made sure we've run the train. It is quite unacceptable to leave school children behind. We never ever want to do that, but in these exceptional circumstances, we simply ran out of the extra carriages to add on.
Tonight, as promised, there were 4 carriages on the 16:21 service, but parents want guarantees that will happen every night. Yes, when I spoke to Julian Crowe of First Great Western earlier today, he said there definitely would be 4 carriages on the train tonight, and there were. Now, of course, this isn't the first time we've covered this situation on Spotlight. 3 years ago, the same thing happened. On that night, there were 11 people who were left behind on the train. Since then, First Great Western have made changes. There are 4 carriages more regularly, but not all the time. And the one thing that has changed that's very different now, there are many, many more students using this service.
OK, John, thank you very much indeed.